I'm ChezPride, and welcome to the slideshow for my Sims 4, the online 100 Bay Challenge. And this is probably going to be the shortest slideshow I've done yet, because this was technically only an 8-part series, and technically we didn't complete it before I ended it. And I don't normally make slideshows for series that are that short. But I did all of the extra requirements of the challenge, plus got 40% of the baes / partners. So technically, I feel like I complete most of it, and also it wasn't my fault she died. I still wanted to do a slideshow though, because it is one of my favorite ways to wrap up a series. Basically, if you've never seen one of my slideshows for my series, this is typically one of the main reasons I go nuts taking screenshots in my game while recording videos. Pretty much, in these videos, I have a slideshow of pictures from said series running in the background while we sit here and reflect and kind of sum up what happened in that series. So typically, I go over the concept of the series and the characters that were in it, and then I go over the name of the episodes and kind of talk about what happened in the series. And then with challenge series like this, I may have a little something extra to throw into these videos. And this time around is that I'm going to go through and name off every single bae or partner that we got with in the order we got with them in. So you may ask, what is the Sims 4 the Online 100 Bay Challenge? That's kind of a weird name and kind of a weird concept to think about. Well, basically, it's the same thing as the Sims 4 the 100 Bay Challenge that was made by Kelsey Dangerous, 3 or 4, maybe 5 years ago now. And in that challenge, all it is you have to be in a relationship with 100 Sims at the same time to complete the challenge. And in this version, I made it what I was hoping to be a little bit more challenging by adding a few extra requirements, such as you could only meet those 100 baes through a dating app and blind dates. Basically, this was my series that I came out with when the Love Struck pack came out. I already did the 100 bae challenge a few years ago when it was still new, but this was kind of my spin-off on it and my second time doing that challenge, just my own version. And everything was actually going really good in the series too. In 7 episodes, I had completed all the extra requirements, such as maxing out a few skills and completing 2 different aspirations, and I had already gotten 36 out of 100 partners, or quote-unquote baes, as they are called in this challenge. But then, long story short, because I already explained this in full in the start of the last episode of the series, when the patch for Life and Death came out, a bunch of my files ended up getting corrupted or glitching out, even though I removed my mods before updating my game. And with this one, no matter what I did, even though there was nothing that went wrong any of the times I tried to record this 8th episode that would have triggered death, at the same time every day my sim would randomly die of heartbreak no matter what she was doing. So I couldn't really figure out how to stop it, and instead of trying to bring her back to life or play as a ghost just to finish the bae count, when this is kind of basically my second time doing this challenge and I already met all the other requirements, after a few months of thinking while I was getting my channel straightened back out, I decided maybe it was best to just go ahead and shoot the gun and close it out early. And I did explain why I chose to do that and all in the beginning of the 8th and final part, so I'm not going to go further into it here. If you want to get that full explanation, you can go check out that video. But like I said, even though it was a shorter series and it ended off early, I thought it would still be fun to do a slideshow, even if it is a shorter slideshow. Also, if you're curious about the exact rules of this challenge, they are down below in the description. So the main sim in this save that I was playing this challenge with was named Precious Dates, and she was all about that polyamory, dating life, and romance style. And with every sim that she would go out with, we would pick them off the dating app, or we would meet them through a blind date and take them on a date and then ask them to go out with us. And like I said, we got 36 partners, and then she died. And when a sim dies, technically they lose all their relationship titles with any of their partners. They don't lose their relationship stats, but they lose their title. So for the grand finale, to wrap it all up, I decided in order down the list to re-ask out every sim that we were already dating back out, and then meet and start dating 4 new partners to make it end on an even 40 baes, which I figured was better than not wrapping it up or doing it ending at all, or just stretching it out for honestly not much of a point after a couple of months of it ending and the file glitching out, because I could have tried bringing her back to life, but also, what if she died again and I just had to redo all the work again? I don't know. For some reason, I just felt like it honestly wasn't worth it after a couple months. So to kind of give you an idea of what happened throughout the series, I normally read off all the titles of the episodes and kind of just give a little short description of what happened and why it was named that. And I'm still going to do that, but let's keep in mind there were only 8 episodes, so I feel like it won't have the normal full effect to explain what happened compared to normal, but I still want to do it. So first, as per usual, we had an introduction video to explain the rules, meet our main character, and show off the tiny home we started in. And then the episodes names in order were: the first one was Paragon Partner Aspiration Complete. And yes, we literally completed the first aspiration in the first episode. And then the second episode was Santa Came Early, First Woohoo. And yes, we didn't woohoo till the second episode and saved it for Santa. Well, technically 2 Santas, because we had 2 different Santas back to back. And then the third one, we had completing the 7 Wild Dates Challenge, which took about 2 or 3 Sims days for us. Then that was followed up with number 4, called House Upgrades and Couple Costumes, where we went from a really tiny home to a somewhat tiny home. And then around the start of the Halloween season, we had episode number 5 that I titled Spooky Dates, where we had characters like Rumpelstiltskin and Voldemort. That was really fun. And then that was followed up by number 6 that was titled Decorating and Dressing Up for Halloween, because, I was really getting into the Halloween spirit here. And then number 7 is where our sim glitched out and passed away. And that episode was simply titled We Woohooed in a Crypt and It Killed Us. Because that time around, when it happened, that's what was happening when we died. Right before we died, we woohooed. We basically stepped out of the crypt and then just died. Which I don't think the woohooing made me die of a broken heart, because I played 2 other times after recording this episode just to see if I could work around it or if it was a glitch or like what happened. And every single time, even though she wasn't doing the same thing every time, like she wasn't woohooing every single time, but every time on the same day at the same time, she would die from the same death cause, a broken heart. So I really do think it was a glitch that was just caused by the corruption in my files. And like I said, after that, I kind of spent a couple of months debating on what to do with every single series on my channel that had been affected. And with this one, I ended up deciding that we should just have the big ending and get back all our partners back and then end it on an even 40 baes. And that last episode was called The Grand Finale. So now that we kind of summed up the series in that way, I thought it might be fun to list off all 40 characters in the order that we ended up meeting on the dating app and getting into a relationship with. Because yes, I literally kept a whole list on my phone. Some of the characters are townies, some are randomly generated, but also some of the Sims are Sims other people downloaded and put it on the gallery that the app chose for us. And then other characters are also characters that I downloaded off the gallery into a world. And those are some more fun characters that you might recognize from like shows and stuff like that. And I feel like that made this challenge so much more fun. So let's go ahead and jump onto that list and read off every single character we ended up dating. So looking through this list, some of these characters stand out more than others to me. Obviously, ones that are in the game or that are like characters from shows or movies obviously stand out to me more. But like I said, some of these were literally just either randomly generated or just someone that was on the gallery. So some of the names are a bit random. I think I remember most of who everyone was. But if I go, I don't know who that was, my bad, because I can't remember everyone that was random. Speaking of randoms, our first one that we ended up going out with was a guy named Kieran. And in his everyday wear and in his profile picture, the reason we said yes to him was because he was wearing like this rainbow fishnet shirt and it was really cute. But then like every time we saw him and hung out with him, he was always in his hot weather wear, which was like this stupid hat with these stupid glasses, and he looked so weird in that outfit. So it was a weird first choice. But then the second one kind of made up for it because our second bae was Archie Hopper from Once Upon a Time, which is one of my favorite shows. So that made me happy. Then we had another random guy that was named Jules, but he was really cute. He was like this kind of like Puerto Rican looking guy. We had Marcus Flex from Get Together. Then there was like this rocker looking dude named Stanley. He was pretty cute. He had the long brown hair with the thick brown beard and the red and black flannel. I don't know. He was like a almost rocker lumberjack looking dude, but in a cute way. And then we had the two Santas. So we had Scott Calvin as Santa. And then after that, we had Father Winter, which is the Santa that comes in the game. So that was really fun for me, having two Santas back to back. And then it was followed by Christopher the werewolf. And then we also had the non-binary character from Sulani, which is Paka. And then we went on the only restaurant date that we went on in the whole series, and that was with Bruce Wayne. So we ended up getting with Batman, which was pretty fun. And then, of course, like every single flirty series I have on this channel, we ended up getting with Bob Ross. I was kind of surprised he wasn't the first, because he's a first in a lot of my series. And then the next ones were kind of fun for me. They were kind of random, but they're all kind of cute. Well, the first one wasn't random. The first one was Oliver Skykes. And being the little emo girl I am, that made me very happy. But then we had Leon, we had Rowan, we had Sunny, and then we had Sebastian, then we had Taga, and then we had Jeff. All of those were kind of either randomly generated or like guys I downloaded off the gallery that weren't like characters. They were just cute. And we kind of had all those random characters back to back. So like Leon was this was this guy with long black hair and an orange shirt. Rowan, I don't remember. I'm sorry. Sunny was this cute guy with dreads. Sebastian was like this cute black nerdy dude. Taga was like this muscular dude with the short buzz hair and tattoos. And then Jeff was the army guy. And then the next four characters are a bit more fun that you might recognize. So the first one was the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz, because The Wizard of Oz was my favorite movie growing up. And then we're bringing back another Once Upon a Time character, Rumpelstiltskin. And then we have Voldemort from Harry Potter. And then my little teenage heart melted because we also got with Andy Biersack from Black Veil Brides. So then we had some more random ones. So we had this guy named Haun, and he was kind of like this pale goth dude. I don't know. He was cute, but he wasn't really significant. We had Jasper, which was our first alien we got with. And then we got with this guy named Laurent, and I'm pretty sure he's from a pack, but I don't know which one. And then we had the double Johnnies. So this was also something that amused me. We had the double Santas back to back. But then we had Johnny Depp and Johnny Zest back to back. So obviously Johnny Depp is Johnny Depp, the great Johnny Depp. And then we had Johnny Zest, which is a character from the base game. And then we had this very interesting character named Damon Castle, and he was actually a leprechaun vampire I made a really long time ago. So he came in, and then we had this cat dude named Earl come in, and then we got with Link from Legend of Zelda. Then we got with Chris Hemsworth, which is the guy that plays Thor. And then the last person we got with before the woohoo that we ended up dying after was Gordon Ramsay. And we went all out. We invited him over for breakfast, made beef Wellington, made him fall in love with our cooking, and then like wooed him. It was a whole thing. So he was very standout to me. But then we got with Romeo Capulet, which is obviously Romeo from Romeo and Juliet. And we woohooed it in a crypt, which I thought would be hilarious. And then we died from a broken heart. So, yeah, we ended up woohooing Romeo in a crypt and dying. How freaking fitting. But then after that, before the episode ended, as a ghost, we ended up getting with Indigo Montoya from my favorite movie, Princess Bride. And then there was a random sim named Kyoshi Abe. And then the next character made me very happy, and it was the last character that we got with during the episode where we died. And that was Killian Jones, because Killian Jones is legit one of my favorite male characters from Once Upon a Time, which, like I mentioned earlier, is one of my favorite shows. So, with that was all the characters we got before the last episode, the grand finale, where we ended up getting back with 30 out of 36 of those characters. We were already dating 2 of them, and then we from the top, and then the last 4 we got with after we died. But then the last episode, after we got back with all of them, I wanted to get with 4 more characters to make it even 40. So we got with Marshall Mathers, which is Eminem. And then there was a random alien named Alex Palm. There was this random guy named Sean Hackett. And then the last guy we got with was a very interesting way to end the series. So basically, I decided I wasn't going to pick who we got to be with for the last date, and we were going to do a blind date. Because like I mentioned, that was the only other way we were allowed to meet people besides the dating app. And it gave us the werewolf Wolfgang Wilder. And if that was not crazy enough, he showed up in an eggplant costume. And then she got the want to woohoo in a lighthouse for her soul's journey. And we went to go woohoo in the lighthouse for one last woohoo. And he dressed up as a fish. A freaking catfish. I know it's just the blind date system that makes them show up in random costumes, and then me moving the date made the costume change. But just out of all the ways we could have ended the series, that was just such a funny way to end it for me. But speaking of ending it, I just want to apologize one more time for ending the series early. I never end series early, especially challenge series. The last challenge series I ended without completing it was my vampire series. So it's been a while. So I do apologize. So like I said, if you want a full explanation why, I did make a whole video. But we're going to end this one here on a brighter note. So thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe to all that awesome stuff, because you guys are awesome people. And I'll see you next time. Alright. Bye!